We're live on Facebook. Almost live on YouTube. All right.
Over YouTube Live, even.
Oh yeah, we're YouTube famous now.
You are
Well,
getting
I think
fancier by the day.
hell yeah. I think we had 4 views on the last live stream on YouTube. So woo! Moving on up.
Big time.
Welcome, Daylight Burners. We are live. Right now we started out with a 4-man, 1-woman podcast set up. Haley Bendystraw is still downloading. We got Dennis back on. Dennis, start talking whenever you hear us. We'll see if your audio is working. But anyhow, welcome. We're gonna talk some times when shit got a little western. Heard some good stories in the comments. We'll have to make this a regular deal. But for now, if Dennis gets his audio working, we got Dennis Wilkerson, we got Kanye Boswell, and then we got the regular douchebags. So Haley Bendystraw hopefully will be joining us here in a little bit.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Matt. You're not that big of a douchebag.
Yeah.
It's debatable. I'm okay either way. Can make peace with it.
Judging it from, I reckon.
Yeah, some people really like me, some people really don't, and I'm good either way. So,
yeah,
more people than not, but either way, I'm good. It doesn't matter. I've made enough friends over my lifetime. We got 2 Dennis Wilkersons. I don't know how that happened.
He's popping in and out, man.
I know. This he's
Get
gonna
your life
become
together, Dennis.
a regular character on the show that just never. He's gonna be the Silent Bob of the Burning Daylight world. Oh
yeah, and I can't believe old Haley Bendystraw is dipping on us again.
I know it. We got three Dennis Wilkersons.
Well, hopefully I'll get it working.
Holy shit, it speaks.
About goddamn time.
He's got a voice.
I don't know whether to be like surprised, angry, frightened, or impressed, or maybe hard. I don't know.
Whoa.
Probably a little all, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable, ain't it? It's a fear boner.
I'll try anything 3 or 4 times, you know.
Oh, and so what the hell's going on, fellas?
Life. The old
Where
man.
are you at nowadays? Are you up in Nebraska now?
Yeah, I just moved back up to Nebraska about 2 months ago.
Right on. Are you working at the yard that Galen's at?
I am.
Oh, okay. How's he doing?
He's going through quite a bit of stuff right now. I don't know how much I can tell of that deal, but it's,
I sent him he's got it on Facebook, so I'm sure he don't care, but he got diagnosed with colon cancer, and I sent him a text, and I was like, man, you don't have to go and get ass cancer to prove that you're a piece of shit. We all know. And I think he just responded with, "Ha ha, fuck you."
Yeah, probably. That sounds about like Galen.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I liked old Galen. I didn't work with him for very long, but he's a cool guy.
Feel bad. He's got to drive clear from here to Omaha, which is like 3.5, 4 hours at least once a week for quite a while. So that's going to be kind of a shitty deal.
Oh, and he's not a people person either, and now he's got to deal with doctors and nurses all the time.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like a big grizzly bear anyways, so
yeah.
When he gets disgruntled, I'm sure it's going to be a sight.
I'd hate to ever have to hear that man yell.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
So Dennis, what's going on in Kansas?
Oh, not a whole lot. We got a little bit of snow today, but it's mostly melted off.
That sounds about like Kansas.
Where the hell do you live, Dennis?
Dighton, about an hour from you.
Oh, fucking Dighton, eh? Yeah, I've been to Dighton. I think I used to play up there in basketball in high school. Not a whole lot there.
No, you bleak and you're through it.
Yeah, it's just like where I grew up.
That's most of Western Kansas.
Yeah.
You got Liberal, Garden City, Dodge City. And
anywhere with a packing plant, you mean?
Yeah, everywhere else. Don't blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah. Actually, Dighton was bigger in my damn hometown.
Yeah. Moscow.
Population 300 people.
That's about what Walsh is now.
Probably.
It's Baca County got reclassified to a frontier area here a little while ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It ain't the new frontier.
I think I forget what they said the population of the county was, but
they'd probably sell that town for $500,000.
Are they gonna ghost town it yet?
No, not yet. They still got
damn. Last time I drove through there, they might as well fucking do it.
Right. If you can't convince them to combine the schools into a county school, you're not going to convince them to ghost town it. There'll be some stragglers.
Well,
they won't be there for though.
No, there ain't much there.
Mm-mm.
A lot of opportunity. That's why I'm not there. I mean, there ain't much there unless you've got a whole lot of land or a well-established business already.
Because if not, you got to drive 2 hours to find decent work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's not enough oil and gas there to prop up everything else, and then
and it's damn near
rain.
It's damn near dried up there too. I mean, has been for a decade. There ain't no gas and oil.
Yeah.
Because I even thought about it back in the day, and there was no.
Yeah.
And I thought with fracking it may come back a little bit, but it just never did. There, it's dried up.
Yep. There's not much there.
Yeah. But hell, it's like that everywhere. Up here, it's like that.
Yeah.
North Dakota and Oklahoma. That's about it.
Yeah.
Fucking cold.
Yeah, we've had guys going up there to help with our operation up there because we put in a bunch of about $6 billion worth of plants in Oklahoma and North Dakota. And so some guys were going up there for a week or two at a time and basically getting paid overtime the entire time.
Yeah.
And they were about the time I got hired on and got to know what I was doing. Summer was over and they're like, well, do you think you want to go up and help for a couple of weeks? And I said, you can get fucked or fire me. I ain't going up there. I ain't fucking doing it.
No, that's it. That's cold up there. But anyway, before we derail into our normal just fuckery, we'll try to stay somewhat on topic tonight. So
we're gonna do it this time. We're really gonna do it.
Robbie, I know you ain't got any broncs you're holding out on this winter. How about Dennis? What about you? You got any colts you riding this winter?
I got about 3 I need to get started, and one I've got started.
Right on. How about you, Kanye?
I got one that I just picked up. He's not really a colt. He's 9. He kind of pretty well push button, just figuring out the vibe between him and I. And then I got a 3-year-old bay mare that I'm riding for one of the guys that I work with. She's fun to say the least. And then I've got like a 4-year-old black mare that is just a bitch. We'll say that. She, I think I've been on her 4 times, and had her for 3 months. And those 4 times were within the first week. And I haven't been able to ride her since then because a farrier showed up, and I've been having to rope her just to get her caught in the big pen.
Oh, just a real
Yeah,
adventure.
one of the fun ones. And
Little
she
peach.
decided she was going to try to run through the fence, gassed her leg open.
Oh,
And
yeah.
been able to ride her since. But she thought she was an outlaw, would like to buck, but all she really does is put her head between her feet and barely jump over a credit card. So,
Snort and fart.
yeah, for one of them fart and scare herself kind of deals.
Well, I've got that damn bingo horse who.
You still have him?
Yeah. Just he's basically just saving. I get to use him for free, and my buddy don't have to feed him. So,
Hey, I got one of those I can send you.
I'll take him, but this old bastard, I swear to God, it doesn't matter. He's 15, I think, is what Joe told me, and every time I swing a leg over him, he's got a ball in his back, and he doesn't ever buck real hard. He did the other day. I blew a rein on my left rein came apart at the water loop, and he had his head for a minute, and he really kind of got extended, and it was getting a little sketchy. And I finally got his head yanked around to the right and got him slowed up. But just about every fucking time, there's a pretty good chance he's going to try and fire. And he does just kind of like a power crow hop normally. But he, like, it's every fucking time. And he's 15 years old, and he's a finished rope horse. It just.
You know how you fix that? When you swing your leg over, you just jab him in the ribs real hard. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it will get it out of the way a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Right. At least you don't think you have a seat. You have to find your seat real quick.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't watched enough John Wayne movies. I just don't want to ride that horse anymore every day. Like, that's just not something I want to do. Like, you don't have to show me you're spirited in the morning. I'm fine with you just being calm. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah, that old bastard. Like, I try to just sell him, but if I'm gonna be honest with him, he's not gonna bring. He's pretty. He could be a pretty high value horse for the right person. But if they're no type of hand at all, they're gonna have to have somebody warm him up, and it just
But you see those at rodeos, you see that fucking exact horse. Mm-hmm. This guy will go for fucking 3 weekends in a row and win every goddamn rodeo, and then the fourth one, as soon as he crosses that barrier, that motherfucker comes unglued. Or as soon as he catches them heels and he goes to pull tight, and that motherfucker comes unglued, and there goes all the money. Why even ride? There's too many good horses for that.
He's a typical just arena horse. That's anytime you shake a loop out, I mean, it's just his head is right in your face, and just typical arena horse.
There's too many good horses for that.
I had a big stout paint mare. Big stout. She's probably 15.2 or 3, and I mean soggy built. She was at least 20, and I could take her to a practice pen and back her in the heel box and take the first run, and she'd be good until we hit the corner and I start swinging, and then that bitch would cut in two. And probably one of the only horses I've ever rode that can just about get me on the ground every time she does it.
Yeah.
I could back her in the head box first run and she won't do nothing. She hates the head side. She wants to be on the heel side, but she's too damn big.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get an honest run out of her if we went to like a jackpot or something where I can't take a practice run before I go.
Yeah.
Well, that goofy ass 12-year-old I have, I mean, he'd probably be good for guys like you that rode him every day, but he likes to be on cows so much. So when I took him to a Brandon, shake out a loop, and he just instantly, he's on them calves, taking them short, choppy steps, putting you right on their hip. The other day, I was riding him out here. I was just fucking around, just like I was like, wow, he's all right now. I'm gonna go just throw some, because I'm a terrible roper. Like, I'm just gonna practice some form. And I unraveled that goddamn rope, and he come fucking unglued. Like it's like there's no cows around. That's not okay to be here right now. I'm not having that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, what? That's what I was saying. Like, what are you doing? Fuck me.
Dakota, man, I see that you're watching here. We'll let's set up a time for this early, this weekend or early next week. We'll do our show. We've been trying to catch bases and been missing each other. We were supposed to record on Sunday, and then feed truck had to close up, and feed truck didn't get done till like 6:30, which was like 8:30 his time. And I was like, "Fuck, man, I can't."
Lovely.
Yeah, one of those days. That was a meme that took off. I made that one like, oh, I'm gonna be off early today, and then cattle get mixed, water line breaks, and the feed truck catches on fire.
I kind of felt like that came from a place of realism.
Oh yeah, I have had that happen all in the same day, with like with me being in charge and nobody being there. Basically, it was a shit deal.
That's what happens. They leave you in charge. Shit goes south in a hurry.
Yeah, I know. They finally.
It's hard to find good help.
It really is. It really is.
I think the favorite deal is when you called me that day and you were talking on the phone, and it was when that feed truck driver backed up into the fucking mechanic.
Yeah. Oh fuck. So I guess that'd be a good one to start off with.
God, that was so funny.
Wreck, but it was definitely a wreck. And
you were on the phone with me when it happened, weren't you?
I think so. It was something right. It was either or right shortly after. I think I called you right after.
Maybe
so I was like,
because you were in tears.
Believe this shit. So I had just started at this place I'm working now, and it was like 2 weeks in maybe, and I just the manager that was here at the time, he's moved on to, I don't know where he's at now, but neither here nor there.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, he came over and he was like, well, did you hear about the welded pickup? And I said, no, fuck off, Tim. He said, well, Pedro went down, so we got this one alley that's all stanchion, lockup stanchions for the dairy heifers, where they do all the AI and preg checks and everything. And so the first round, they he'll pull up to the pin, lock the bar in place, and then feed the pin. Every pin he has to stop, lock them in. And Pedro, the maintenance man, he was moving down there to, I think they were putting in new lockups at one of the pins, and so they were trying to get started first thing. So Florencio was the guy's name. He's cruising along feeding, and he goes to back up, and Pedro is right on his ass, and of course he's in a feed truck, can't see him at all. Like Robbie argued this point with me, and I was like, dude, you cannot, like, you can maybe see him if they're what would you say, Kane, like 20 yards back, you can kind of maybe start to see him then.
At a minimum, yeah.
But at the same,
Kane, this guy had a trailer on though.
Yeah. So
that was my point.
Yeah. You know as well as I do, even a flatbed trailer, you can't hardly see that fucker in your pickup mirrors.
Well, no, I mean the maintenance guy had a trailer on, so that would have put him over 20 foot.
Well, was it a flatbed trailer? Because them things ain't very busy.
No, it was not like a big welding trailer. It was just like a little work box trailer with the welder mount on it.
Yeah, see that
little bumper pull.
Barely visible in a pickup, so you ain't gonna see it in anything big. Plus,
yeah, you're looking at your
behind them because they expect everybody to know that they got to back up. They're paying attention to where they're delivering their feed.
Yeah. So, anyways, Pedro's way too close, and Lenz goes to back up to finish off the last like 200 pounds that he's got to feed, and yeah. So Pedro realizes just in time that or not quite in time that he's in the way. He throws it in reverse, jackknifes the trailer, still gets ran into, and yeah, he bananaed the front bumper, twisted the ball hitch. That is one of those receiver hitches. The ball was pointing downward, still in the hitch. Yeah, he did a number on it.
Well, and the best part about the story is not really that story. It's what happened afterwards.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the boss man who was very prone to fire anybody and everybody and do it in glorious fashion, it sounded like just erupt on folks. And but instead he came down there and just started doing a slow clap when he saw it, like surveyed the damage and just started a slow clap, which I thought that was a pretty funny move. Well, Pedro must have been just waiting for the ass chewing. It was just, like you could tell he was, I think they had to weld on something. And, he had to like flip his hood down and was like, well, if they gonna chew my ass today. And then, finally he's like, nope, not today. Ain't doing it today. Nope. So he told the guy that was on the maintenance crew with him, he's like, I gotta go take a shit, man. He drove up to the shop and cleared out his locker and his vamos. He was just like,
Happy
ain't doing it
trails
today.
to you.
I am not taking an ass chewing today.
He sat there and thought about it. He's like, yeah, not today. Nope.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today. Well, Dennis, let's hear this this round pen story of yours. Like, it was funny enough reading it. It's gonna take me a minute to find it, but anyways, it'd be better off. Let's set the scene and tell us what you had going on here.
All right. Well, one of the Mexicans had this fucking piece of shit Colt.
Pendleton. Kanye is getting lit tonight.
Yeah, working on it.
Anyway, he had this piece of shit Colt. Couldn't fucking do anything with it. I got it for nothing. Take him. I'm renting these pens in Scott City. Well, we kick him into the round pen, start working with him, get a saddle on him. I climb on to go to ride. He's doing fine. Like, he's soft in the face, making circles. This old guy comes out. He's standing there talking. And all of a sudden, you just hear these fucking vehicles just roaring. And they're laying on fucking horns. And the horse just took his fucking head and went. I'm not sure how it happened, but I was riding an oxbows and fucking get kicked off and I'm getting drug around. And this old man the whole time is, roll to your left. No, your other left. I'd help you, but I got the gout. And I'm like,
no, that's what it was. It was the gout.
The gout. I got the gout.
You're in a bad spot, partner, but I ain't fucking helping.
I'm like rolling out, trying to keep from this horse kicking me in the fucking face. And all I can hear is just him telling me to fucking roll to the left.
Play NASCAR, damn it. Just roll left.
Making another left turn.
Oh.
Anyway,
Jazz
my fucking boot
Haley,
comes off.
apparently
he runs over top of me. I'm trying to catch
they're
my breath,
watching
figure
now,
out what the fuck is
can't
going
join.
on. And he's just like, hands me a beer and is like, oh, let's do this again tomorrow. And fucking went home.
That made his month. He probably hobbled up to his old wife and said, you won't believe the funniest shit I ever saw.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, when I was riding Colts for old Doc Jones, I
do love that story.
It's a good one. he had this big old Percheron thoroughbred mare that he'd bred as a pickup horse, and Doc's pretty damn good horseman. Like he was what he won Little Britches. He won the world at Little
I think
Britches,
so.
didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was Little Britches world champion. Rode pro for a little while, got pretty banged up, and then he started riding pickup horses, and he started breeding pickup horses. And oh, by the way, Haley and Chaz are watching. They couldn't get the video to connect. So
Fucking Haley the Flake.
I hope it's just eating on her, and she's eventually gonna get internet service one of these days and just rip you a new one.
She's such a flake. And that, again, every episode I have to say it, she never acknowledges us talking about her. It's like she never even fucking listens.
She's in for the long con.
Yeah.
She's gonna show up at your door one day.
No, don't do that. My wife will kill me. Who the hell's this bitch?
Chaz will still be back in Nebraska, like stroking his beard, and he's like, "I told her not to go. I told her not to go."
That was a bad idea.
So, anyway,
hey, anyhow,
this,
fucking old Doc, real quick
yeah,
before you tell your story. One day we were at the Ford Ranch, and we were coming off them hill pastures going down to that little creek bottom they got. And you know how when you get farther, was it to the south, that stream gets real small and it's all just like the creek bed, it's rock, big old sheets of rock, limestone. One day me and him came off that big old long hill. Your horse kind of slides down it, and I was on an old paint horse, and I was a kid, so he kind of took care of me, walked down there. Doc was on a colt. He slid down that fucking thing, and that colt was not a fan of it. Like he's like, "You have betrayed me," because as soon as he hit that rock bottom, that fucker stood straight up and down. And I remember thinking, this man's I was like, this man's dying, because it was straight up and down. And old Doc with his big old mustache, he fucking reached up, grabbed that motherfucker by the ear. I mean, in a split second, set him back down, and that horse kind of shook and looked around. But I remember thinking back then that that's a
nice.
bad
I'm on the phone.
man.
Go away.
That is a bad man.
Yeah, and Doc stands all of about 5'5", probably.
Yeah.
He's not a real big fella, just typical bronc rider built. He's maybe 5'6" ish, and about 5'3" of it's in his legs, and so even though he can't see over the counter, he can still stick one in right behind the ears.
Yeah.
But he's
Not a flake.
not a flake. Haley's there.
Prove it.
Haley Pendystraw with the inaugural appearance on Burning Daylight.
Still no audio or video.
I think we're working on something here.
I have to scroll. There's too many people now. I got to scroll.
But anyhow, I get on this mare. I think she was like 5 or 6 at the time, and Doc said, "Well, keep her head snatched up. She will buck." And I said, "All right." And you know what? And Doc's not one to bluff you. He as much as he liked to bullshit when it came to horses, you pretty well took him at his word. He wasn't gonna try to get you in a wreck or anything, for the laugh. He'd laugh at you if he got in a wreck, but it wasn't gonna be because he didn't tell you. And so I was all right. I swung up on her, and of course she went to crow hopping, and I got her head pulled around and got her spun in a couple circles, and away we went. And we went to trotting out on that round pin there, and he had a really cool setup. He had a small, probably 60-foot round pin, or I don't know how it was a not a real big round pin, but it had sloped out solid 2x12 walls. It was built nice.
Sure enough round pin.
Yeah, and then and that emptied out into a bigger one, that just went around the perimeter of that inside round pen, and then that kicked out into an arena. It was a pretty cool setup. And so we caught a long trot, just about as fast as she could go, just zipping around there, and then she kind of, she led off, kind of caught grandma gear. You know how it goes once they finally kind of catch that wind and just kind of ease off, and started licking her lips and lifted up her tail to take a shit. All right, so she's acting pretty nice, wanting to learn something. So I relaxed my hands a little bit. Then didn't really give her head, but just kind of relaxed a little bit. Well, then she took her head like all the way, just buried the bitch.
Buffaloed your ass.
Yeah. And she had that just great big old percheron neck on her. And but just as long as a thoroughbred neck. So
you can't pick it up.
No, once it's down, no, you might be able to get her to grab a bite of dirt and move it over here, but you're not getting your head back. And I went about 5 or 6 jumps, and she launched me, and it was about the third jump I was coming off, but I think I made it 2 or 3 more, and but I was able to roll, roll up to my feet, catch a rein as she ran by, made it look pretty acrobatic. Get back on her, and I said, all right, well we're gonna run her. And so we caught a lope and hit both leads, went both ways, and got her lathered up pretty good. And there again, she kind of relaxes a little. So, all right, she's really ready this time, and give her head just a touch, and off we went again, about 5-6 jumps. Probably I went a couple jumps less this time, and she launched me, hit the fence, kind of slid down a little bit. But then I was fucking pissed at that point. Like, where that not many horses buck me off more than once. Like, not that I'm any great bronc rider. I just figure out how to make them not buck more than anything, so I don't have to hit the ground. And she made me hit the ground twice, so I was a little pissed. And so I get on her and just stick it to her, and just we go as fast as we can possibly go around this round pen. And she's lathered out to the ass crack, and and starting to breathe pretty damn hard, and about to the point where I was almost feeling sorry for her. And Doc was like, well, I think that's about enough, don't you? And, well, that is your horse, so all right, yeah, I think we're good. All right, well, we'll call it good. And I guess I neglected to tell you this little detail, but every time I got bucked off, a couple more of his old rodeo buddies showed up, just happened to be in the neighborhood of North Lahana. And so by the the third time I got on this horse, there's 5 of these ex bull and rough stock riders from the 70s sitting on the top rail of that round corral, critiquing every jump of said bronc ride. And they're all at the point where, like, yeah, I think she's had enough. I think she had enough, because I said she was foaming out the ass crack. And I go up to he's got a bunch of lead ropes hanging off his fence there, and I go to catch one of those clips on a lead rope, and swing my leg over, and right about as my leg came horizontal with the ground, she just erupted. And so they tell me. I don't recall that I recall them saying that she's had enough, and that's about the last I recall. And apparently I was a little concussed. And Doc said, well, don't worry, your head didn't hit first. So it didn't? He said, no, your back did. But your head wasn't very far behind it.
Those are the ones that hurt.
Oh, I was a hurting unit for, I think 2 days later, I had to go take a back stress test for my physical to go to work at Grant County. And I about pissed blood, I think, but yeah. So I woke up the next morning and saw that I'd missed a call from my mom. Call her back, and I was like, "Hey, I saw I missed your call last night." And she's like, "Yeah, we talked last night." I said, "We did?" She said, "Yeah, we talked for like half hour." I said, "Oh, well, what did we talk about?" And she said, "Well, you got a job interview on Tuesday or something like that." I said, "Oh, well, I'm glad I called you back." And she said, "Well, I was going to call you anyways. Doc said you took a pretty good lick." And I said, "Yeah, I don't recall any of that." And so Doc had this neighbor girl that was, I think I was 24 or 5 at the time, and she was 16, 17. But Doc was pretty sure that we needed to get married. And so he'd been trying to set me up with her.
Fucking
And
Beckett County.
I know, here I just recently graduated college, and she was like a junior in high school. And so I was like, I don't think so. And apparently after the third time I landed on the ground, she came over to see what the commotion was, and apparently I bullshitted with her for about 30 minutes, and I don't recall meeting her, let alone
You proposed, didn't you?
there's a good chance of it. I don't recall. I wouldn't be able to deny it.
He's probably supposed to pick her up the next day. She's still wondering why he never came.
I know it. I know it.
30-some years later, he's like, still waiting on this fucker.
I'm on a kill list. She's like Steve Buscemi on Billy Madison.
Yeah.
She's
She put a jihad on you.
She's got a list of people that have done it wrong, and I'm at the top of the list. I don't even know.
Every ache and pain you feel, that's from her voodoo doll.
Voodoo
your
doll,
ass.
yeah. Just jabbing a needle through some some molded wax. Haley,
shit.
are you there? Can you hear us?
No. Oh, there's a ceiling.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we got going on.
Where the fuck do they live?
Somewhere in Nebraska.
Well, fucking Thad is from goddamn Alabama, and he can get service to get on
Where
here.
is Thaddeus?
Thaddeus is married.
Well, not married, but no, he's not married, because if he was married, he'd be on here. He's still in the honeymoon stage.
No, that's true.
The Jamie Joes, isn't he?
That's what Rose theory is. Rose, her conspiracy theory is that Thad married Jamie Joe, and apparently this Sydney gal is not real. You know, that's
it's a
her
front
conspiracy theory. Yeah,
but there's pictures though.
Those could be photoshopped.
they could be.
That's true.
Could be. And you know, Jamie Joe sent me some fairly racy photos. Like no nudity, but like she obviously works out.
Oh yeah.
So like
Her pecs
if
bigger
you're
than
in yeah. Like she's pretty swole. Like she works out. We'll give her that. So Thad may have saw those because he's in the group snap with us, and I shared him as this whole dramedy was going down.
Dramedy.
And yeah, he might have fell in love. You never know. He was, recently divorced, so stranger things have happened. That's all I'm saying. Was it government related? I can't rule that out either.
The only thing that makes me think of is like Epstein didn't kill himself.
right there.
That's was that in the Articles of Confederation, or was that in the Federalist Papers?
Both
of them.
You're right. Yeah.
Possibly on the Bill of Rights as well.
This episode of Burning Daylight is brought to you by the Clinton Global Foundation.
Whoa!
I don't know nothing, Hillary. I don't know nothing.
Okay, again, for like the fourth episode, I've had to say this. I'm not fucking suicidal, goddammit.
Yeah.
At all.
And speaking of suicidal, you know what always cheers me up? Watching cows sell. And this episode is brought to you by Loma Livestock. Located there in Loma, Colorado at 1369 12.5 Road. Owned and operated by my good buddy George Raftopoulos. They got a sale going every Wednesday at cows and singles starting at 9 o'clock, followed by the feeders at 11. Give them a holler, 970-858-9988 if any questions or concerns are to consign. And you can check them out online at lomalivestock.com. Thanks, George. Thanks, Loma Livestock. We're back.
You have watched way too many episodes of Pat McAfee, the way you rolled into that one.
I know it.
You know how to slide in a pitch, don't you?
That was
Did you play for the Houston Astros?
Oh man. That I was listening to Pete Rose, what his thoughts on that were. And you know, Pete Rose is possibly the single greatest baseball player of all time. Not in the Hall of Fame because he bet on his own team to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, he's they started putting him on like the World Series coverage and playoff baseball, which was a brilliant idea because he's a great baseball mind and he's hilarious. Got good insight. But I was listening to him on the Drinking Bros, and
that's okay. I was wondering which one he was on because I listened to it too.
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
Yeah. And how is that even
Can
illegal?
you
He
hear
bet on
us?
himself.
I gotcha, Haley Bendystraw. We hear you.
Finally, I'm not moving. I'm not going to move nothing.
Raise one leg, put your hand on top of your head, and stay there.
I'm making a voodoo right now, Robbie.
A what?
A flake.
Your eyeball is gonna start twitching here before you know it.
I'm only catching about every third word she's saying. I see a picture. There's a picture of a half-naked man right now. It's frozen.
That's Chad. Him and his beard.
She said he is a beard stroker too. That's probably his exact reaction if she did come to strangle you in your sleep. He was just like, I told her not to go.
That's why I eventually shaved my beard off because I was stroking the damn thing so much. It's gonna thin out. Oh, not
That's
a flake.
the problem I have with mine.
Yeah, it gets annoying. You start seeing like little beard hairs everywhere you've been sitting.
I don't ever let mine get that long. I
do mainly just to like piss off my wife and then talk shit on you and Sam and Thad about your baby faces.
Oh, yeah. Like I can grow a glorious mustache, glorious goatee, but anything on the cheeks, I just look homeless after a while. And
okay, Pancho Villa, we know.
Hey, I got like 4 hairs that grow on each side, and then like 15 that grow here, and then the mustache. That's about it.
Oh, see, I don't ever intentionally grow a beard. I just I hate shaving. So about every 6 months, I'll just trim it down to nothing and then let it do its thing and come back.
Well, if I could get it to fill in on my cheeks, I would have like a 3-foot beard right now.
Beards suck. They're annoying.
You would definitely look like Galen then.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Not a flake's back.
She's back.
I told you we have such bad service.
Maybe you should buy some rabbit ears.
Get your tinfoil out.
Yeah.
We got Haley calling in on the ham radio.
Is this Morse code?
Calling on the Marine Band.
It's awesome. Hey, as long as you can still download and listen to Burning Daylight, we don't care what kind of service you got.
Yep, I always got.
She's always got it.
Oh.
Well, Haley, while we got you, why don't you try and tell us this roping a turkey story, because it sounded funny, if you can hear.
Well,
And she's out.
She's still there.
She's gonna have to go down to the next city, sit down at a
Yeah.
coffee shop or something, and do it from there.
Yeah, and she's out. That's too bad. So, if anybody didn't read the comments, I don't even know who's still watching, but for anybody who'll be listening, Haley told us a story about how she roped a turkey on a college equine program horse that was supposed to be ranch broke.
At Curtin.
At Curtis, that's right.
Good old Curtis.
I spent
Yes,
one
sir.
weekend in Curtis, Nebraska, and it was a good time. So I've
That is about the only thing that college is good for, is knowing how to throw a party.
They could
rodeo
throw a
kids
party.
down there can get that.
We started on Flaming Dr. Peppers at about 3:30 in the afternoon.
That is
Yikes.
okay. Mine was like 2:00. Might have been 1. I don't know.
We would have started that early, but we didn't get there till 4:15, and at 4:30 we were doing Flaming Dr. Peppers.
See, I had the same experience a few times that I've been to Curtis. Is like you party all night, go to bed about the time the sun comes up, and when you wake up at noon, you go back to it.
Yeah, we
And it starts with Flaming Dr. Peppers.
see, I've heard that from multiple sources now that that's the case.
Yeah.
Haley, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, let's hear this turkey roping story before you cut out again.
No, I want to hear you tell it. It'll be funner if you tell it.
If I tell it,
Yeah, you tell it. If I cut out, it's still funny.
okay. Let me try to find that post, and I'll read it off, and we'll give some color commentary.
She sounds fairly Stephen Hawking's on my end.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Sounds like a damn robot.
Yeah.
And where is Curtis at? I've been up to Gothenburg on the 4th of July run.
Okay,
Cowboy Christmas.
So it's like between Gothenburg and North Platte.
Okay.
In that area. I know it was
Okay. Oh, morigato, Mr. Roboto. Man, this is just intense
content.
audio.
Okay, I've got her. So this is from Haley Bendystraw. She said, in college at Curtis, I got stuck on campus for Christmas, setting the mood. So Curtis is kind of not quite western, you'd call Nebraska. I guess it's like west central Nebraska, I'd say. Kansas gets a bad name for being flat. They got shit on Nebraska. Nebraska is flat as they come. So anyway, she said, I was to go check the ag classes of mama cows every day. And instead of using my good broke ranch horses that were used to my crazy ass shenanigans, I decided one unusually warm morning to ride one of the school's dumbass used to be ranch class horses. 16.2 hands of pure fucking stupid. Like that quote.
That's a
we
big
head
bit.
out. Yeah, that's a big horse. We head out, check the cows without incident. heading south back to campus, we run into a herd of turkeys. I think they're called a gaggle.
Right. I was going to say herd doesn't sound like the proper terminology there.
You know what a group of baboons is called?
I don't.
A congress. And that is an insult to those fine baboons.
Hey-o.
I don't know where I heard that from, but that's a true story. I looked it up.
I have too, because I didn't believe it.
Yeah. So guess who's
downwritten
dumbass gets a wild hair up their ass to rope one of them slick bastards. Spoiler alert, that dumbass was Haley Bendystraw. She says, not much rattles me, but when a fireball of talons and feathers comes up your rope, you start figuring out you've made some poor decisions in life.
I would have pitched that rope so fast.
Oh, so fast.
It'll open go.
Gone.
She said, of course, no one was there to witness my most epic bronc ride. I discovered I'm sticky as hell and went back to campus with a 20-pound Tom and a horse that was better than when we left.
I'm sure it was.
Free dinner.
I laughed really hard, like hard enough where I think I read that when everybody was asleep, and I was laughing hard enough that Ro came out. She's like, "What? You're not even recording right now." And I was like, "Read this," and she's like, "Oh, that's good." I shut up and went back to bed. Yeah, I can't imagine what a horse's reaction would be to a fucking pissed off Tom Turkey coming back up a rope at him.
Well, I've got two things. First thing is that's the best thing that ever happened to that horse is her fucking holding on to that fucking Tom.
Yeah.
Second thing is I wouldn't have held on to no goddamn mad turkey. I've been fucking gone. I hate foul. Chickens, turkey, I hate them.
I was tied on hard and fast.
Oh, tied on hard. That's even better.
So she had no choice.
Yeah. That's when you hit a lope and go.
Yeah. I've heard of some of my real fucking ranchy cowboy friends roping deer and choking them out. I've never heard anyone rope a turkey before.
No,
I heard them deer get real fucking wild on the end of a rope. I don't know that I ever want to try that.
Well,
they're pretty
go fucking wild.
And then I'll tell you about roping a pig in the driveway lane of the Kearney County Bank.
That gal don't deserve to be called a pig, Matt. No, some of my buddies, like, they know, some of us like deer meat. And he spooked up a couple, but he just rope them and fucking dally on them and just take off towards the trailer. And by the time he gets there, they're dead. And he'll just go up over the half top and drag them right on into the front.
Now, is that considered poaching?
Absolutely. I'm not going to say their names. It's entirely poaching. They weren't even in season.
Thomas. God damn it, Thomas.
Yeah. But these guys, I can't say too much. Everyone knew what I'm talking about. Fuck if they can't take a joke. They have a lot of rodeo bulls, and they basically rope bulls all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So that deer probably wouldn't. The only problem is probably a lot faster.
Yeah.
But
probably
yeah, that was
on the bound.
Yeah,
that'd be a little difficult.
Yeah, but no, yeah, for them. I mean, one of them, he started buying half or a quarter draft crosses just to have something that could keep up with what they were roping all the damn time, Something that'd pull a house down and keep moving.
Yeah.
Matt, if you're gonna wear that shirt, you need to be sponsored.
I know. I should be sponsored by GhostBed. Too late. I already
What is
bought the
GhostBed?
It's one of those online mattress companies, but This one's pretty good. They're
It comes in a tiny little package, and you open it up, and it expands.
Vacuum sealed. Yeah.
Like an
I
erection.
I had the purple mattress, and it was fucking terrible.
Really?
It was good for like 2 days, and then my back went to hurting so fucking bad. I'd give that fucker away.
Huh. This one's pretty good. We've been happy with it. Yeah, if you GhostBed, if you're listening, feel like sponsoring, give me a jingle.
Jangle.
So, I was working over at Syracuse, the confined cow calf operation. We had a lot of dead cows, if you might imagine, more dead calves, but we had a fair share of dead cows. One of them wasn't quite so lucky. She got hung up on the gate, I believe. Yeah, when we'd do our breeding program, we did a time sync AI. And when we give them the shot of utilize, we'd do 72 hours and then breed them. But for those 72 hours, if they had a calf at their side, we'd wean the calves off and do a temporary weaning to make sure the hormone levels and everything were optimum level. And the calves would bawl, but they didn't really try to crawl out. As long as you kept some feed in front of them, they weren't real concerned. Like I said, they'd bawl, but they didn't try to crawl out everywhere. The cows, on the other hand, like they just ball up at the back gate and like climbing over the top of each other. And I know for sure 3 of them that I had to euthanize because they just stuck a gate rod through their brisket and got hung up in a bad way. But one of these heifers was the first calf heifer. She had her first calf at her side. And she got her leg hung up in a hog panel. And when she tried to jump down off that gate, she didn't spear herself with a gate rod or anything, but she got that front leg hung up in a hog panel and it just snapped that leg. So we hauled her over to the lake and let's make her in a hamburger. And this old farmer from Lamar had pulled up right in front of me with a little 2-horse trailer that he had a fat hog in that he brought over to get butchered. And he was listening to the Mexican fella that was guiding them back into their load out there. And so he stopped when the old boy told him to stop, and he swung his gate out, and there was about a 3-inch gap between the panel and his trailer gate. And he said,
"Hey, Matt, by the way, I don't want to interrupt, but I don't care what your wife tells you. This is not 3 inches."
I was
pew 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 pew.
I was about to say something else said about that. You can't fit that in the camera.
Well, anyhow, my story. I'll tell you how the fuck I want to.
All right. Hey, dude, if you're gonna give me a layup, I'm gonna take the layup.
Yeah,
you can tell it how you want to, but we're gonna set it straight.
This is why I like you guys. I'm glad that you capitalized, I suppose. So anyhow, the old man said, surely that hog ain't gonna squeeze out that gap. And I said, well, I hope not. And well, sure enough, he did. The old hog took one look at the Mexican dude in his white apron and said, "Peace out, homies." And he bumped that old gate shut with his nose, and out he went. And right across the street is the drive up to the Kearney County Bank there in Lake in Kansas, and we had us a big old fat hog on the loose. And,
at Duncan Lockers.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of watching it, and I was like, and of course the farmer and the guy that worked there at Duncan's, they went hauling ass across the street on foot trying to.
What the fuck were they gonna do?
I don't know, but
the bitch.
I figured I probably better stay there by that gate so I could kind of try to shoot them in there. And so I'm waiting, and and they're having all sorts of hell. And this hog's getting pretty hot and winded. And the old man, he said, "There's a rope there in the tack compartment if you want to bring that over." And so he's got this wore out old. It wasn't a cotton, but it felt like a cotton that's been sitting in about 90% humidity for a couple days. Just
stiff.
Not quite cable, but pretty damn close. And so I bring it over, and right about that time that hog darts in front of me, so I just one swing it and get him around the neck, but I didn't get him shut down before his front legs went through, which pretty easy to do on a hog. There's not much resistance there. There's no shoulders to catch on at all. And so I pantyhosed a hog in the drive-through of the Kearney County Bank. And when that rope came tight, you talk about a squeal like you wouldn't believe. And there was bankers and like hairdressers and whatever else there is on Main Street in Lake in Kansas looking around the corner, and I've got a pig on a leash just waving.
Matt's got it hitched. He's got it hitched around. Yeah. He's got it hitched around his ass, going, "Stop looking at me! Stop looking at me!
You got a purty mouth, boy. You got a purty mouth." Oh shit. Well, what else you got, Dennis? Let's hear another one of your good wrecks.
Oh, it's not quite a wreck, but you guys know where Royal Beef is?
Royal Beef.
In Scott County?
Okay, yeah, kind of.
It's out there by Scott Lake. Anyway, this guy that lived out by there had these elk. One of them got into the feed yard. Big fucking beautiful bull. And he's jumping through pens, freaking the fucking cattle out. Manager comes up and is like, "Well, let's get him chased off." Well, we couldn't fucking chase him off. And finally they're like, "Oh, well, we're just going to rope him and get him out of here." So we're chasing him through pens. Fucking horses are snorting all over the fucking countryside. Somebody finally gets a rope on it. He jumps over the fucking fence. Guy's tied on. Rips the fucking horn off. Blood shooting everywhere. Next thing you know, fucking cattle are just tearing the pens down. Because we just had wooden rails, and I mean, they were just fucking smashed to shit. The guy that owns it comes up, get the fucking thing. He's got one horn, blood shooting out the other side. Manager's like, "Oh, well, we're just going to fucking shoot it." "Oh, you're not shooting my prize bull. I fucking need him."
Well, get the running iron.
Shoots it and's like, "Yeah, tough shit." I mean, I think we had 7 pins fucking left standing after that. Jeez. Took us like 2 weeks to get all those fucking cattle sorted.
No, I bet. We had a couple fellas get fired from the yard in Syracuse when I'd been there like a year and a half maybe. A couple guys on the processing crew got accused by the bearded lady of sexual harassment. Which we call her the bearded lady because
I remember this. Yeah,
she probably could grow a better beard than I. Well, at the time, definitely she could grow a better beard than I could. I might have her beat by now, maybe.
You don't. I know who you're talking about.
That's awesome. So anyway,
you don't. He said you don't.
That's funny. So they get fired because the company, of course, is like, it's just going to be way easier to get rid of these guys and find two new processors.
Yeah, because they're hard to find. Yeah,
rather than fight a legal deal. So they're just like that. Yeah, you're gone, guys. And it sucks. Felt bad for the guys, but you can't blame the company for that. I mean, it's they knew exactly what the deal was, but it's also what are you gonna do? we're not going to spend that much money. Just sorry, guys.
Well, and were the guys even legal?
Oh no, they were white guys.
Oh, well, see, and that they should have at least bought it.
I thought so too, but at the same time, you know,
but they didn't actually do anything, did they?
No, they were 100% innocent on it, but
well, they should have fucking sued them.
They probably should have, but anyway, I won't say his name, because this whole act was not legal per se, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Anyway, so the very east line of pins at Syracuse Feed Yard starts at pin 11. Why it didn't start at pin 1, I don't know. But it went from pin 11 to pin 42. And I think the cross alley was at like pin 26 or something like that. So 15 pins, they opened every single fucking bunk gate. And yeah, it was about it was 3 full days of 2 guys just sorting cattle all day long. And then like another week of just after go homes going and pulling strays out of these different pins.
The guys that got fired did that?
Yeah.
Damn. The only thing is they weren't fucking the bearded lady. They were fucking all you guys.
Yeah. But see, at the time I was on the feed crew, so any chance I got to go out and sort cattle or just be a horseback, I was all about it. So it didn't hurt my feelings a bit. And it was spring, so the weather was nice. And
yeah,
you know, it was.
So what
it
you're
was
saying, you went and opened a bunch of bunk gates.
Allegedly.
Yeah, because Kane, at that feed yard, if you fuck up enough, they promote you. That's how Matt became manager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Where's this at? I need to go there.
That is classified information there, hombre.
Declassify it right quick.
let me get on the phone with old Trumpy Bear. Let's see what he says.
Yeah.
As long as you don't call Hillary, we're good.
Oh,
hell, Matt, we could probably get you pardoned.
Yeah, probably. He's throwing those things around left and right.
All right.
You get a pardon. You get a pardon.
So we're supposed to be talking horse wrecks. I got one here.
Let's hear it. This
is not me, but Tuesday of this week, there's 3 of us that are horseback at this place that I'm at now. And one he's probably, I don't know, 60, but he's a fucking working dude. And then we've got a Mexican fella that I swear to Christ, if he was any slower, he'd have grass growing on his fucking ass. So I was riding through my 30-day cattle, and he calls me and he says, "Hey, I need some motivation," which keyword for a hot shot. All right, well, I'll bring it to you. So I go over there in the pickup to take him the hot shot, hand it over the bunk line to him. He's got a downer. I'll tell you this, our pins right now are fucking belly deep mud.
Oh, I bet.
If it don't freeze, we're fucking riding bunk pads.
Oh, I don't miss that. I don't miss that.
It was warm enough where it was pretty soggy, and he got one heading to the gate, and you know, shit flows downhill. Well, all our pins are sloped down to the back alley, and they get deeper as you go back there. And he got one about 30 foot off the gate, and she just buried in mud and laid down. So he wanted the hot shot to get her up and get her out. Well, I bring it to him, and I hand it over the bunk, and he rides over there, and last thing I see is he gets off his horse and ties her to the fence and starts walking down there with the hot shot. Like, well, fuck, I'll just check my Facebook right quick. And I start looking through it real quick. Well, fuck, he's still fucking with her. I'll check my Snapchat. Checking my Snapchat. And I look up, and he's like got a hold of the fence like this, but it looks like he's on his fucking knees. And it's pipe, post, top rail, 2 cable, middle, and 1 cable in the bottom. And he's got a hold of like that cable right above the middle rail. What in the fuck is this stupid bastard doing? Like, what? And about that time, I realized his fucking horse is laying on her side next to him.
Oh, shit.
So I just bail out of the truck, like throw my phone as I'm bailing out, hop over the bunk, and I go running to him. And I don't know how he managed this. I don't know if he rode her to the fall and then spun around. But, you know, a normal person, when you ride one down like that and they're laying on your leg, you fucking stay put.
Yeah.
She's laying on his right leg. He turns around backwards this way, all the way around so that he's now got a hold of the fence this way. Well, thank fucking God she could not get up. This mare probably doesn't weigh 950 maybe. Little tiny. And he's kind of a bigger dude. I bet he weighs 200, 6'1", 6'2", 200. Little too big to be riding this mare around, but that's one of 2 horses that he's got.
Yeah.
He's twisted around all funny, and I go running down there across the top of kind of what's frozen. I'm like, do you have a foot in a stirrup? He don't.
That's what I was wondering.
He don't speak enough English. He says, what? Do you still have a foot in a stirrup? Huh? Oh, all right, here we go. So I go running down there and I just start stripping cinches. And he's got a pulling collar on, and I just start pulling fucking straps and buckles. And I get her shook loose, and I get his saddle kind of wiggle off her back. And he keeps trying to pull his foot out from underneath her. And he's close enough to the fence that I kind of prop my back up, and I put both my feet on her butt, and I went to pushing on her, and she stood up because she was freed up. He had his foot so twisted in that stirrup that I had to kick the fuck out of that stirrup just to get his foot out of it. So if she'd have stood up and took off, he'd have been in a bind.
As soon as you said that he had bailed off, I was thinking, no, he's fucking wrapped up then.
Yeah.
Damn.
And here's the surprising thing. Them pins are so fucking nasty mud-wise right now. When I got that saddle off of her and she stood up, and we got his foot shook loose, he's wearing his bib Carhartts. He had like one little tiny splotch of mud on his knee. That was it. Like,
oh, fuck.
How the fuck did you stay that clean? If that was me, I'd have been just covered in that shit.
It's not even
mud.
Like it's just like
tiny dot on your knee.
It's silly putty at that point.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
That's
shit.
one where, like, if you're wearing muck boots through there, it'll suck the boot right off your foot. Like,
it has happened.
Yeah.
About a month and a half ago, we had one of the processors trying to help us get a pen of cattle out of them. That same alley. And he stepped in a spot where it come up over the top of his boot. And when he went to pull his foot out, it pulled his boot off. And it's probably still in that pin, I think. Somebody had to go get him a clean pair of socks and a new pair of boots that day so that he could finish his job.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's crazy. Working in the feedlot, it's, cowboying in general, just not all that glamorous as everybody makes it out.
Oh, bullshit. Don't lie to the folks. It's
most of the time. But feedlot cowboying's even less glamorous than regular cowboying. And you get some funny stories out of a feedlot. But though you have to remember those because most of the time the work just kind of sucks all day, every day. But
yeah.
One of my close friends, James, we used to rodeo together. I was good friends with his brother, but seems like every time it's fucking shit out, he fucking starts Snapchatting me, moving cows down alleys and shit. And it's always when the mud's up to your knee, or it's fucking winds blowing all the dirt in the summer, or the fucking snow's coming in. He's having to pull something. And he's just playing country music, Snapchatting as he's moving these cows around.
Oh, see the way it is right now, and luckily we haven't got much moisture this winter, and we haven't had many. I'm knocking on wood right now, but we haven't had many water lines break or anything like that, because that's usually where a lot of your problem will come from in a feedlot. On a average winter is you'll have a water line break and a tank will run over all night and it'll flood a whole alley, and it'll do that like the end of November, and you'll still be dealing with that water in March. But at that point, it's not water anymore, like you said. It's like silly putty almost. But
in November, it's not water; it's ice.
Yeah.
And then in March,
but then by March, it's
fog.
And then it's still cold enough in the mornings, and there's enough water left in it that there'll be ice on the top, like 3 inches of ice. But then it just, once it breaks through, it's like silly putty again.
Yeah, it's enough to give you false hope that you can make it across there.
Yep.
Until you get about 3 steps in where it's too far to turn back,
mm-hmm.
and then you're fucked.
Yep. Yeah, you're almost halfway at that point, and then you fall through, and I'd hate to be a farrier for to make my living shoeing horses for feedlot horses in the winter, because especially like late winter, early spring, because they're gonna lose shoes left and right just from the fucking mud. You could put 8 nails in that fucking horseshoe and they're still gonna lose the shoe and some of that shit because it's just so deep.
But see,
sticky.
on the other side, the guy I was just telling you
to reset that shit, or they lose.
That guy I was just telling you about, though, he shoes his horses and some of his buddies at the feed yard, his dad's. My buddy Glaze was busy one time, and I said, "Hey James, why don't you come up and shoe mine? I'll give you $30 a horse." He said, "All right, I'll come do it." Came up here and he wasn't shooting him, he was just trimming them, and he fucking hated it. He goes, "These goddamn pasture fucking pets of yours, their fucking feet are so goddamn hard. I could just carve this shit off at the feed lot." Because their hooves would get so damn soft.
Mm-hmm.
So they're easy to trim up.
Yeah, they're easy to trim, but when you got to go back 3 days after you put shoes on them and tack another one back on because they lost it in the mud.
But wouldn't that be easy money?
Or because
you don't get paid. You don't get paid for putting one back on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
You get paid for the first trip, and you get paid for the next trip when you got to pull them all off and redo them. But if you got
to fuck that,
you're eating that money.
No, I'm not. So a while back, maybe last year, I was telling Glaze, "Hey man, I kind of know the idea of how to trim horses and shoe, but I've never actually done it more than just maybe trimming a little bit."
Don't do it.
Hold on.
Well, I went out there.
Blake Corbett's watching because of course he is.
Of course.
But you're right, Blake. We had a very shitty winter. It was the worst winter ever. Like, of all the worst winters, this one was the worst, and people should stop moving to Nevada. It's a very good point, Blake Corbett.
Stop moving anywhere. Just stay where the fuck you're at. Nobody wants you wherever you're.
Unless you want to go back to California. Sorry, Californians. You can have them
no
back.
Shit.
Bye.
No shit. Make Colorado great again.
Well, or they can move. They can move to the Bay Area and Southern California. Nevada, we'll take the Northern California and the Sierras. Those are good folks up there. We'll take those. They can have Bay Area and Southern California. We'll take the rest of it. But yeah, I gotta be careful nowadays. There's plenty of good Californians. They get overshadowed by the
well, because no one listens to the quiet people. Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I know it.
But you're right, Kanye. That was the end of my story. We just glossed over. As I went and did it in the afternoon. That is not a good time. That's bad. That's not fun.
No.
Yeah,
I know.
He's about 6 inches shorter than me, and he could just kind of basically kind of crouch and get that horse real comfortable. I was doing a wall sit.
Yeah.
I was doing a fucking wall sit. He's like, well, you got to stand right there or else they're not comfortable. And I was like, I was trying to trim. I was like, motherfucker, I ain't comfortable. This is bad news. My legs are shaking on me.
Yeah. I'm 6 foot and I know just enough to do my own. Like my shorter horses, I can get away with. That big paint mare that I was telling y'all that likes to throw down if I take her first run out of the heel box. If I trim her first, that is the only horse I can do for 3 days because she is a leaning cunt. Like every foot you pick up, she's just like, okay. Okay. And
That's what cracks me up.
Her body weight on one foot. And it's fuck you.
You know what cracks me up about his horses is, he's a farrier. Well, he's not. He does it. He shoes all the college kids his horses, and he doesn't want to do it, but he's done it long enough. He kind of feels like he's got to. He don't need to for the money. He just kind of does it to help people. Of course, you have to pay his ass, but it's funny because you go out to a farrier's horse and watch him trim their feet. He leans down and like touches their shoulder. That foot just comes right up, right perfect. Yeah. And they stand straight, man. He goes, well, most people that don't shoe horses never work with a horse to shoe right because that's not their problem. But his horses, man, it's funny. He leans down and pokes her shoulder and that fucking hoof comes up.
Well, see, I could probably tack a set of shoes on if I needed to. I won't guarantee how sound they'll stay. But I could probably get it done. I've just never done it because I view it like any like detailed mechanicing. I could probably do it step by step. I don't know what I'd fuck up along the way, and then the long run is probably cheaper to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, though, I like to keep, if I find a good farrier, I like to keep them happy. So I work with my horses. Like I've got a shoeing hammer with no nails, no shoes, whatever, but I just tap on their feet.
Yeah.
Just so they get used to that percussion,
And if your horses are good enough like that, you'll actually end up, they'll charge you less.
Yeah.
If you get in with them. I mean, when I was at Carlos's the other day, I was telling you about, I was just curious. I wasn't actually going to hire him because Glaze shoes my horses for nothing because we trade work. But I said, hey, ¿cuánto for the horse? And that's the first thing he did is he walked over to my sorrel and picked up his feet. No, he told me it was 45. No, he told me 80. I said, for a trim? I said, ¿qué pasó, güey? A trim? And he goes, oh, no, trim, $40. And I go, 40? I don't know about that, buddy. And he goes over and picks that horse's foot up, puts it down. For you, my friend, $30. So that's quite a bit better. I said, he'll stand for you.
So
it's actually where I got that meme I shared.
Yeah. So Joe, this guy just commented, sorry, Joe, I haven't seen you on the page before. I'm sure you've commented if you're watching now, but it's hard to keep track of everybody. But he said, I shot horses full time for over 3 years. It ain't the horses that are bad to deal with. It's the people. It's worse than riding colts for the public. And I believe that.
I've heard that.
People don't know how to use a hoof pick, but everybody's still trying to tell you how to trim and shoe them because of what they read on the internet. It's like, it's like mechanicing or people that try to tell you how to raise cows too.
Yeah.
So
I charge on the side. I charge $60 an hour to work on cars. I charge $70 an hour if you watch, and I charge you $80 an hour if you want to help. Going rates.
Yeah, I believe it.
Going rate for whoring too?
Do what?
Is that your going rate for whoring too?
Oh,
$80
no,
to watch.
I'm way more expensive than that. Look at me.
He's a high class hoe.
Yeah, I'm an
like
escort, Kanye. I'm an escort.
Blake,
I gotta get
wine
and
shit, buddy. We know you got a life. We appreciate you listening. We just like to give you shit because it's low hanging fruit. Come on, man. No, you're right. They're like I said, we talk a lot of shit on Californians because for the most part they deserve it, but living in this part of Nevada. There are some really good folks, but the people that are moving to Nevada and Colorado and Texas and everywhere else, oh, they're not the people.
They're not the people from Northern California, though.
No, they're not.
People moving from Southern California have fucked up the state enough that
they're
now they want out
because it's too expensive and restrictive in California. But yet,
and then they move and try to get the same policies.
They vote the same.
Well, they moved there from
policy.
somewhere else to try to make it big in probably movies or TV or some bullshit, and they failed because they suck.
Yep.
And they're moving away, but they want to try to keep doing what the fuck they're doing.
Yep.
And
so
they probably wouldn't have
somewhere else that's the same.
And they probably wouldn't have failed if they sucked in the right places.
Looking at you, Harvey Weinstein. Hey yo.
Ding 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 ding. Tell them what he's on,
Bob. Come on downtown.
Yeah. Well, fuck. If you guys want to stick around here a little bit, bullshit for a minute, but I think that's been a pretty good live show for now. We're gonna go ahead and call that a night for Facebook.
What did we have?
Kanye, you want them to find you on Facebook or no?
On our horse wreck episode.
What's that?
What did we have? Like 4 horse wreck stories on our horse wreck episode.
Well, I've got a couple wrecks, but they were on a bull, not a horse. So.
Oh, I've got a lot of those.
We did all right. Kanye, you want them to find you on Facebook or no?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right, where they find you at?
Just Kane Boswell at Facebook. I don't know how to work the handle stuff. I'm old.
Good enough. I'm way older than you. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this deal, but I'm kind of enjoying this conversation, so we're gonna bullshit for a little bit, and all you fuckers, well, sorry, next time.
Go fuck yourself.
Should have joined in.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, move your ass. We're burning daylight.